This is a tutorial on how to make a menu for a smartphone. So this is the current menu. Just click that. And then when you switch to a smaller screen, so a smartphone for example, it switches to this common drop down menu that you see. So if you click it, it gives you this pop-up menu. You can go to the different pages. Okay, they all still work. Human cats are go, big cats. So yeah, if that's something you want to do, then keep watching. Right, so essentially we're going to be working with this section over here. So on any normal page or on a layer, you can click on styles and you can change the media you're working with to tablet size, smartphone size, and you can alter it how it's going to look on different sizes. So just click on the default media. So just quickly, if you click on this edit, all it's saying is that for a smartphone, if the width is smaller than 480 pixels, then it's going to change your website to look how you edited it for the smartphone. And then for a small tablet, if it's smaller than 767 pixels, and for a small laptop, if it's smaller than 1200 pixels. You can add a custom size media if you wanted to. I find these work pretty fine for most devices. So there are two ways we can do this. We can alter our main page or any page, or because I'm working with a menu, you can alter the layer. If you don't know how to do layers, check out the other tutorial on layers. So all I'm saying is what I'm going to do in this tutorial with the layer, you could do the same thing with just a normal page. So what I'm going to do is save it, and I'm just going to check smartphone. Okay. Sorry, I'm just putting things back to the way they were. So ignore that. Now, essentially, I want this menu to change when we look at it through a smartphone. So the first thing I need to do is add the menu I want for the smartphone. So I'm going to need a button. So let's insert a let's just make it a frame. Okay. And what you want to do is find some kind of image or icon that you want for your menu. So I just quickly, I tend to use icons DB to find. You can use whatever one you want. I just find this one's quite well designed. It's all free, and you can type in menu. Okay, there's one, and what I like about it is you can change the color, so blue, and you can also choose a whole range of sizes, so it's quite well thought out. For this page, I used a where is it? An icon set. It doesn't really matter what you do. I use this denim jeans thing, and that gives you some common icons. And then I just found this list view icon. Doesn't really matter what size you get. Take the biggest one if you want. It's just going to be shrunk down anyway. So I took a 128 just in case I wanted a bigger, massive menu icon. Anyway, so save that. Again, you can use anything you want. So we've done this before, so I've already added it in. And we're going to need to change the position as usual, center, size, contain, repetition fixed. Okay. And I'll make it about, I don't know, 32 by 32. Doesn't really matter. Okay. And I'm going to position it so let's say 0 from the top, and no, let's not do that. Let's say 30 from the top and 50 from the right side. Okay, and I'm going to rename him to open. Let's say S-phone menu, smartphone menu. Okay. So that's just my opening trigger for the pop-up menu. So now let's add the pop-up. So, sorry. Oops. So elements, simple modal pop-up. Throw that in there. Again, if you don't know how to do pop-ups, check the other tutorials. I'm just gonna cancel for now. That's just the opening trigger. So don't worry about that yet. And in here, I'm going to put a group of elements. Okay. And I'm going to throw another frame in there. All right. Whoops. Okay, cool. And this one, I'm gonna select an image, and I'm going to go for a cross, just a closing trigger. Position, center, size, contain, repetition fixed. I do apologize for the background noise, by the way. Okay, so, and then let's change the height to 32. Width to 32. Okay. Now also, let's change the size of the group of elements. So width 100% sounds good. The height auto. Okay. So let's throw in some links, because this is our menu, remember? So we don't want text, we want links. Text link. So just throw that in there. I'll worry about the links later. I'm just gonna right click and duplicate again, because we want 3. Now, okay, something I forgot, I always forget, is make that group of elements relative. It's just easier. Okay, now I'm gonna move these guys like that. I'm gonna name them. So home, about, gallery. Okay, I'm gonna move this guy to the right hand side. Now because it's relative positioning in the group, I can't do what I did with the other menu box button. I have to use margins instead, not positioning. So that's not doing anything. You can just ignore that. And we want to make the outer margins, so same thing. So what did I say, 50 from the right and 30 from the top. Okay, you'll see why later. And I want to control, select all three, alignment, center. Okay, and let's just click them all again. I'm going to change the color to just make it the same as the other menu. Same with the font. Oops. Okay, and the size, remember it's better to do it on this menu. And this is a good example of that, I'll show you. So let's make it 24. Okay, because the reason why it's important is because when it comes to changing the size on a smartphone, if you want the size of the menu here to be bigger and smaller on a smartphone, if you change the size following this menu, it just won't work. It won't work. Whereas if you change it here, and then change the size for a smartphone, it will change the size, it'll work. So a small bug. Anyway, I also want to, I've got all three selected. I want to change the margins of the top, say, I don't know, 20. And the bottom, say 20 as well. And that's just going to give them some spacing. And I might shift the top one. Let's make it a little bit bigger, say 50. Let's give it some space. Okay, and I want to set up the links. So select main link, homepage, select main link, about, select main link, gallery. Okay, also the trigger, I want to rename it to close S phone, so smartphone menu. Okay, I won't bother with those names for now. Now, if we select the pop-up properties, let's go to opening trigger. What was it? Open S phone menu. So that's that one. Select the closing trigger. Close S phone menu. And we should have a working pop-up now. I'll just change the sizing of the pop-up window as well to 100% and the height to auto. And I'll just center him as well for good measure. Okay, so that looks good. Now one thing, if you looked at other tutorials on pop-ups, it's not positioned here. So it's actually positioned in the properties one of 0, 0, 0. So it's actually up the top. So if you want to visualize what it actually looks like, just get rid of these values because they don't work anyway. And that's where it's actually going to be. Right, so if we save it and we preview. Okay, so this is the layer I'm previewing. So if I click home, where'd it go? Okay. No, did it? Okay, I'll sure what happened there. Anyway, and we can click it. Okay, it works, but we don't want this menu on the main screen. We only want it on smartphones. So let's change that. So back to OpenElement. One thing I forgot to do was to change these items so that when you mouse over, the cursor becomes a hand. Okay, so that's done. So save that. Now, we don't want any of this. So these two items, select them both. We don't want them to be visible on a normal computer screen. So if you click properties, there are two things you can do. If you select not visible, okay, we can still edit it, we can play with it on the page, but it won't be visible on the on your actual website. Okay, see? Yeah, we can't see it, we can't click it, it's not there. Okay, but we don't really need to edit it because it's only going to be for the smartphone. So actually change it to display, no. And that's actually going to take it away from your editing screen as well, because I don't really want it to be in the way while I'm editing my computer screen pages. There's no point. So yeah, just notice the difference between the two. It's just a bit easier to edit it this way. So now, styles, default media. So you could change it for tablets as well. I'm just gonna do it for smartphones for the example's sake. Smartphone. Okay, now you can see it's not visible here either. So if I click on content, open S phone menu and pop up, properties, and here we want to change the display to yes. No modification will be the same as the default page, so we want to make it yes. Okay, at the same time we also want to make our top menu not visible, so don't display. Okay, so save that. And let's take a quick look. Okay, so this is our page, and now if we minimize it, oh sorry, if we change, so okay, that's the main page. If we start to shrink it to smartphone size, see as it gets below 480 pixels, it switches. Okay. Now, a little bit of a bug is when you click the menu, it goes a bit crazy. Okay. It's okay though, it will actually work on your smartphone. So if we leave the menu size, you just need to preview it whilst it's already minimized. Otherwise it goes wild. I don't know why, but yeah, if you're worried it's not working, it actually might well be. So so if I click it now, you can see it's fine. One thing I can see is you can still see the background, so let's change the pop-up style, background color to black. Okay, I'll give a little bit of opacity, and let's test that. So I'll go to the home page. Let's make it a little bit darker. 80. And one thing I can see is the pop-up size is not big enough. So let's just scroll down and change the height to, let's change it to the screen size actually. So 100 VH. Okay, so now if I go to the home page and yeah, okay, that's quite nice. You can see it more or less blacks out the background. And yeah, okay, I might, it's still a little bit too bright, I think. Let's make it 95 opacity. And yeah, that should be pretty much it. Homepage. Okay, yeah, it's nice. Okay, and gallery. And yeah, so that's your how to switch to a smartphone menu for a responsive web page.